Hello, you are welcome to this session. And today we want to look at liver diseases. And this liver, we saw the structure previously. If you haven't watched the video on the structure and function of the liver, please go back and watch so that you can move systematically. And I always urge you to subscribe by hitting the subscription button if you haven't. Then always hit the like button and always share your comments so that we can always improve. And this session, previously we saw the functions of the liver. And today we want to see if the liver is failing to function normally, what is the problem? But before we start with the liver diseases, we want to look at the signs and symptoms of liver diseases, whereby we have edema, what we call the swelling of the lower limbs. We shall have ascites. We shall have signs like black or pale stool. And we shall have signs like jaundice, which is yellowing of the scalar membrane. So edema, which we are calling swelling, and this edema we are saying is pitting, in that whenever you have the swollen limb and you touch on it, the hole remains for even 6 hours. That is what we are calling pitting edema. It shows that there is low albumin levels in your blood. And then another one is ascites, which is inflammation of the peritoneum cavity. That is, you find someone, the stomach has increased much in size due to accumulation of the ascitic fluid within the peritoneum. That is what we call ascites due to liver disease. Then black stool is due to lack of urobilinogen. You know, bilirubin is reduced to urobilinogen, then urobilinogen gives to stachybilinogen, which gives the stool the brown color. So whenever there is a blockage of the flow of the bile, we see stool becoming black or pale. Then we are talking about jaundice, which is yellowing of the mucous membrane. You find eyes are yellow, you find the skin is yellow, even you are urinating yellow urine. That is what we call jaundice, or what we call yellowing, majorly seen in the eyes. So these are some of the signs and the symptoms, and another one is encephalopathy, whereby encephalopathy is this one is affecting the brain, whereby there is brain damage known as kernicterus. Whenever indirect bilirubin accumulates, it can cross the brain barrier, crossing the brain barrier, and it can cause damage to the brain, suffering from what we call encephalopathy. And these are the major signs and the symptoms of liver diseases. So as we begin liver diseases, these liver diseases are divided into two, whereby one we have hepatocellular diseases, the diseases that cause hepatocellular damage, and those that cause hepatobiliary damage. Hepatobiliary damage. So these are how we can categorize liver diseases into two. And we are going to see that hepatocellular diseases, or diseases that causes hepatocellular damage, is that they are affecting the liver hepatocyte, which is always honeycomb in shape. Then the hepatobiliary diseases are the ones that are affecting the biliary system, whereby the biliary system is made up of the bile canaliculi, the small bile duct, the left and the right hepatic duct, then the common hepatic duct, then we have the cystic duct together with the common bile duct joining the pancreas. So whenever there is any condition that is blocking or that is affecting the biliary system, they are the ones we are going to talk about as hepatobiliary damage. And we are going to start with hepatocellular, those ones that cause hepatocellular damage. And these that cause hepatocellular damage, they are the one we are beginning with. And they are also categorized into two, whereby one we have acquired. Acquired, meaning these you don't inherit them from your parents, or you're not born with them, but as you grow, you acquire. And one of them is hepatitis. Another one is liver cirrhosis or cirrhosis. Another one we can talk about is liver steatosis, which we can call fatty liver. This one we can call it fatty liver. This one is fatty liver disease. Then we can see another condition known as Biliary syndrome. Biliary syndrome. You can see another disease as ischemic liver disease. Ischemic liver disease, or you can call it liver necrosis. So these are the major acquired causes, not forgetting the one caused by a parasite known as Fasciola hepatica, or what we call fascioliasis. Fascioliasis can also be acquired. And another one we can talk about is the liver cancer. Liver cancer is also, or you can call it liver carcinoma. These are acquired liver diseases. Then we want to see the cause. If it is hepatitis, what causes hepatitis? This hepatitis, which is inflammation of liver cells, You find these liver cells which are honeycomb in shape, they have been inflamed. And this is caused majorly by viruses, like, can give an example of hepatitis B, hepatitis C. Then we can see also being caused by drugs, stroke toxins, drugs like paracetamol, drugs like aspirin, drugs like alcohol, chronic alcoholism can lead to that, and other toxins which you can take in the body. Then we see also this one being caused by autoimmune disorder. Autoimmune disorders, whereby this autoimmune, the body is producing autoantibodies. And these autoantibodies, they are against your own liver cells. Your own body producing antibodies or soldiers that are killing your own liver cells. That is what we call autoimmune. And this one can also lead to inflammation of the liver hepatocytes. Then liver cirrhosis or cirrhosis, this one is the scarring. Scarring, whereby the normal hexagonal or honeycomb-like structure of the hepatocyte is being replaced by the fibrous tissue. Leading to formation of the scar. And this fibrous tissue is non-functional, so meaning the liver loses its functionality. And this is what we are calling liver cirrhosis. And the major or the leading cause of liver cirrhosis is chronic alcoholism. Chronic alcoholism can be part of that, or even liver steatosis can also lead to liver cirrhosis. Whenever there is accumulation of fats, liver steatosis is accumulation of fats in hepatocytes. And whenever fats accumulate, they occupy the functional space of the liver hepatocyte, causing the liver hepatocyte to lose its functionality. And this one is always also ruled out by the scan, whereby the radiology department can do the MRI, or they can do ultrasound scan, and they are able to see accumulation of fats within the liver cells. And this one The risk factors is when you are obese, that is obesity. We can see it in people who drink alcohol, can lead to accumulation of these fats. And also we can see it in people with uncontrolled diabetes, whereby in diabetes mellitus, we can also see accumulation of the fats in the liver. Then another condition underacquired is Biliary syndrome. This Biliary syndrome is caused by we see the liver is supplied by the hepatic portal vein. From the ileum, after food is absorbed, is transported via hepatic portal vein to the liver, so that the liver cells can get nutrients. So whenever there is a blockage of the liver, of the hepatic portal vein, when the hepatic portal vein is blocked, meaning there is no nutrients. So this one is due to blockage of hepatic portal vein, or you can call it occlusion. Whenever there is occlusion of the hepatic portal vein, meaning no nutrients reaching the liver. No nutrients reaching the liver. So it can result into Biliary syndrome. Then another condition we can see is ischemic liver disease, or what we call liver necrosis. Liver necrosis is due to blockage of hepatic artery. This hepatic artery supplies oxygen to liver cells, and whenever this hepatic artery, which is transporting oxygenated blood to the liver cells, is blocked, so when there is blockage of this, meaning blood containing oxygen is not reaching the hepatocytes, and without oxygen supplying the tissue, it results into cell death, what we call necrosis, and that is why we are calling it ischemic liver disease, what we call necrosis, due to blockage of hepatic artery that supplies oxygenated blood to the liver hepatocytes, leading to liver cell death. That is what we call ischemic liver disease. Then another condition is fascioliasis, which is majorly caused by Fasciola hepatica. This Fasciola hepatica is a parasite which affects the liver, and whenever it invades the liver cells, it causes what we call fascioliasis, and which can lead to the loss of functionality of the liver. And finally, underacquired, you can also talk about liver cancer, or what we call liver carcinomas. Liver cancer is here. This is whereby the cells are dividing uncontrollably, leading to increased in size, controllably or uncontrolled cell cycle, leading to overaccumulation. And this is what we are calling liver carcinomas. And this liver cancer is always also diagnosed by doing what we call alpha-fetoprotein. Alpha-fetoprotein is a test that the lab is utilizing to rule out liver carcinomas. So whenever you are suspecting liver cancer, you can always request serum alpha-fetoprotein to rule out liver carcinomas. And these hepatocellular causes or hepatocellular damage, these diseases, other tests we can do, the laboratory diagnosis of these diseases. These diseases can be diagnosed. The lab diagnosis, you can confirm them, whereby in case you are suspecting hepatitis, the first test we do is LFTs. And in LFTs, we are looking at ALT and AST. This is previously it was known as SGPT, which is serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase, and this is serum glutamate oxaloacetate transaminase. That whenever there is hepatocellular damage due to these causes, we see elevation of both ALT, high elevation of ALT and AST. That's how we can confirm hepatocellular damage. And we see moderate or mild. We see mild elevation of GGT and ALP. So for ALP, that is gamma glutamyl transferase and alkaline phosphatase, for them they are mildly elevated. But these ones, they are super high. They are so much elevated. And that is how you can diagnose them using liver function tests. Other tests you can do is you can request for hepatitis surface antigen test or hepatitis core or surface or envelope test to rule out any viral hepatitis. You can also do hepatitis B, then hepatitis serological. You can do that. Or you can use ELISA or PCR. Other test you can do is, in a case you are suspecting fasciolosis, you can even request for a stool sample to rule out fasciola hepatica, or even you can take off the blood sample. Then when you are suspecting a fatty liver disease, you can do a scan. You can also do what we call ultrasound scan or MRI to look at the cells, how they are looking at. You can rule out ischemic liver disease by looking at the blockage of the hepatic artery, blockage of the hepatic portal vein, or presence of fatty liver. Other causes, other tests you can do, we mentioned about alpha-fetoprotein, which you can do to rule out liver carcinoma, plus many other tests that we can do to rule out these causes of acquired causes of hepatocellular damage. These are tests we can do. Then lastly, under hepatocellular causes, we are going to look at genetic causes of hepatocellular damage. Number one was acquired causes of hepatocellular damage, but now we want to look at genetic causes. So number two under hepatocellular is genetic or inherited, and number one under this, we are going to see hemochromatosis. We are going to look at condition like Wilson's disease. We can look at conditions like Crigler-Najjar syndrome. Crigler-Najjar syndrome. We are going to look at Gilbert's syndrome. Gilbert's syndrome. We can talk about Durbin-Johnson syndrome. Durbin-Johnson syndrome. You can look at Rotter syndrome. So these are the conditions that can cause also damage of the liver hepatocytes. And these are inherited disorders where we are going to find that hemochromatosis, which is genetic cause of hepatocellular damage, this is due to accumulation of iron. We know that whenever iron in ferrous state is broken down by the reticuloendothelial cells, is transported as ferritin and transferrin and is stored in the liver as hemosiderin. But whenever this iron, when it is overloaded or when it is overaccumulates in the liver hepatocytes, it is the one we are calling hemochromatosis. And sometimes we can do a bone marrow biopsy and we stain to look for presence of iron in the bone marrow. Then this Wilson's disease is also an inherited disorder whereby we see accumulation of copper. Copper accumulates in the liver cells, and whenever it accumulates, it causes damage. And this accumulation of copper is diagnosed, can be diagnosed by doing a test known as ceruloplasmin. Ceruloplasmin is a test that we can do to confirm Wilson's disease due to accumulation of copper in the liver hepatocytes. Then Crigler-Najjar syndrome. This Crigler-Najjar syndrome is an inherited disorder whereby people are born without genes for synthesizing UDP glucuronoside transferase enzyme. So there is complete lack or complete deficiency of UDP glucuronoside transferase. So whenever there is lack or complete deficiency of UDP glucuronoside transferase, which is responsible for doing what? For conjugating, that if I have indirect or unconjugated bilirubin, it is conjugated by this enzyme to form direct, or what we call conjugated bilirubin, in the presence of 2 molecules of glucuronic acid. That this glucuronoside transferase adds 2 molecules of glucuronic acid in direct bilirubin to form direct bilirubin. So whenever you are lacking this enzyme, means the body there is overaccumulation of indirect bilirubin, and this one is, you can confirm it by having what we call raised indirect or unconjugated B, what we call indirect hyperbilirubinemia. Then this is different from Gilbert syndrome, in that in Gilbert syndrome there is only decreased levels of UDP glucuronoside transferase. It is reduced in the level just. So this is a complete lack of UDP glucuronoside transferase, but this is the reduced level of glucuronoside. And even in it we find also the type of bilirubin which is elevated is indirect bilirubin. Direct bilirubin is elevated. Then in Dubin-Johnson syndrome and Rotor syndrome, these ones are due to blockage. You find there is blockage of the biliary canaliculi, what we call bile canaliculi. This bile canaliculi, they are the drainage system of the hepatocytes. So whenever they are blocked, whenever there is, maybe here there is a canaliculi, here there is a canaliculi which is draining the hepatocytes, and whenever there is a blockage at this point, meaning after conjugating bilirubin, it cannot move out. So we see the type of bilirubin elevated is direct or conjugated type. Is the one which is direct due to the blockage. So this is Dubin-Johnson syndrome and Rotor syndrome. So these are the genetic causes of hepatocellular conditions. Whereby, so apart from bilirubin being high, we see also ALT and GGT also going high due to accumulation of these bilirubin. So these are the acquired causes. Lastly, we want to look at, we have seen acquired causes of hepatocellular damage. We have also seen about genetic causes. So we want to end by looking at hepatobiliary causes or the hepatobiliary diseases of the liver. And these hepatobiliary diseases, we said they are the ones that are affecting the biliary system. We want to look at hepatobiliary. This is part B. We have finished part A. This is hepatobiliary diseases. These ones are affecting the biliary system. Anything that blocks, anything that affects this biliary tree is what we are going to talk about. And these diseases include cholestasis. They include primary sclerosing cholangitis. They include cholelithiasis, which we call gallstones. They include cholecystitis. They include cholangiocarcinomas. They include, we can also see other conditions like, so we have cholestasis, we have primary sclerosing cholangitis, cholelithiasis, we have cholecystitis, and even we can look at the cholangiocarcinoma, and even which can be cancer of the gallbladder. Cancer of gallbladder. And these diseases are always diagnosed both in laboratory and scan, because you have to do them throughout. They must be in agreement, all of them. So these diseases which are affecting the biliary system, cholestasis being the complete blockage. Cholestasis is the complete blockage of the bile duct. Because these hepatobiliary causes can either be intrahepatic or extrahepatic. And cholestasis is one of the extrahepatic causes, whereby there is blockage. Whenever the bile is flowing from the gallbladder, it is blocked by the common bile duct. So in a condition that blocks this bile duct, it is what we call cholestasis. Then primary sclerosing cholangitis. Cholangitis is inflammation. Inflammation of the bile duct. Whenever there are toxins, you have been taking much alcohol, drugs like rifampin, drugs like phenobarbital, those barbiturates, they can lead to the destruction of the epithelial lining of the bile duct, leading to what we call inflammation known as cholangitis, primary sclerosing, whereby these epithelium, they are being replaced by the fibrous tissue, leading to cholangitis. Then cholelithiasis is the formation of, is what we call the gallstones, formation of stones within the gallbladder. We know that this gallbladder contains bile salts and bile acids. Bile salts and acids, so these sometimes they can conjugate together to form a hard particle, which we call the gallstone, and seen very well by MRI and ultrasound scan. So that's why we do them with lab does together with radiology. Then another cause is cholecystitis, whereby we are saying that when we have the gallbladder, the drainage system of the gallbladder is what we call cystic duct. This is the cystic duct that joins the bile duct. So whenever there is inflammation, any inflammation in the cystic duct of the gallbladder can lead to what we call cholecystitis. So cholecystitis is inflammation of the cystic duct of the gallbladder. So whenever there is inflammation of the cystic duct of the gallbladder, we see cholecystitis and can hamper the flow of the bile. Then another is cholangiocarcinoma together with the cancer of the gallbladder. And this cancer whereby there is uncontrollable cell growth leading to the increase in the size of this biliary system. And these diseases are always sometimes monitored by doing cancer markers like CEA, what we call carcinoembryonic antigen test. And sometimes the doctors request even for CA19 antigen, carcinogenic antigen 19, and this can help us also to diagnose what we call cholangiocarcinoma or cancer of the biliary duct. And as I conclude the hepatobiliary diseases or conditions, in the laboratory we can always diagnose these diseases that whenever there is any biliary obstruction, the doctors can always request for these tests, whereby the lab diagnosis, we can talk about it in this box of the hepatobiliary conditions, whereby we can request for ALP, GGT, and 5 prime nucleotidase. These are liver enzymes, and whenever you do them and they are elevated, we can, all of them, whenever there is increase in ALP, increase in GGT, and increase in 5' nucleotidase, this one confirms hepatobiliary diseases. Hepatobiliary diseases. So in hepatobiliary diseases, we see elevation of alkaline phosphatase, gamma glutamyl transferase, and 5' nucleotidase. Though there are other causes like GGT, chronic alcoholism can also lead to its elevation. And also we see LT in pregnancy, in growing children, and Paget's disease, what we call cancer of the bones, can also elevate. But we see among the three is that 5' nucleotidase is the more specific. This one is more specific. Why? Because it is only produced by the biliary system. Whereas GGT and ALP, they are found in other tissues. So 5' nucleotidase is the best marker to rule out hepatobiliary diseases. Another test you can do is total bilirubin and direct bilirubin. You can do bilirubin test, and you can find them, you can find a condition known as hyperbilirubinemia. And meaning it can either be due to indirect or direct. So these are the diagnoses you can make, further diagnosis you can make to confirm these liver diseases. Thank you so much for being with us today. So remember, we started with hepatocellular causes, whereby we saw both acquired and genetic. And we saw even how we can confirm them using radiology and lab tests. From there, we looked at the second part, which is hepatobiliary diseases, and which we have seen that these guys are affecting the biliary system, and it can either be intrahepatic or extrahepatic. Sometimes even Rotor syndrome and Dubin-Johnson can also be part of this, because we have seen Rotor syndrome and Dubin-Johnson blocking the bile canal, meaning these guys are affecting the biliary system, so they can be part of the hepatobiliary. And we have seen what they are and how we can diagnose them. Thank you so much for listening from the beginning until the end. Always remember to subscribe, share your comments, and like the video. God bless you.